The man woke up from unconsciousness and was shocked to find a furry beast licking his face. He trembled with fear and turned to look quickly, only to realize it was just a gentle and cute little goat. Relieved that there was no danger, the man took off his broken goggles, trying to figure out where he was. But when he saw the scene clearly, his eyes widened in horror and he almost passed out again. Trapped on a bare cliff, the man was like a tiny ant, stuck dozens of meters below the top. Under his feet was a bottomless cliff and floating clouds, at least 1,000 meters high. The man looked up in despair and found his parachute caught on a wobbly dead tree, which looked as if it would break at any moment. Acting quickly to save himself, the man touched the rock wall and discovered it was not hard stone but a thick layer of soft mineral rock. He immediately came up with an idea. He pulled out a dagger, took off his shoe, pushed the dagger through the toe of the shoe to make a makeshift climbing tool, then drew 2 more daggers from his chest. He kicked off the wall, swung into the air, and drove the dagger into the cliff, climbing upward with great difficulty using his hands and feet. Just 3 or 4 meters up, the thin dagger could not hold his weight and snapped in two. The man lost his footing, slid down, and fell back to the starting point. To make things worse, the fragile dead tree began to break at the roots and was about to pull the parachute down into the abyss. At this critical moment, the man turned around violently, cut the parachute cord with his dagger, and barely escaped before the tree fell. Without the parachute, the man could only cling to the wall, helpless. Just as he was falling into despair, the little goat cried out as if giving him a hint. The man looked up and saw the goat easily climb up the steep cliff by wedging its legs into cracks. Hope returned to him. He gathered his courage, leaped sideways, and wedged himself horizontally into a narrow crack. He rested briefly, then inched upward little by little. The goats around him seemed moved by his perseverance and stayed to cheer him on. Soon he reached a small, protruding ledge, only to find he was still 2 or 3 meters from the top, with a completely smooth wall above. Suddenly, the fragile ledge began to collapse. In desperation, he stepped on a goat's back and jumped like a monkey onto the cliff edge. The man was overjoyed, but a fierce ram suddenly charged at him and nearly knocked him off. Confused and angry, he grabbed the ram's horns, ready to drag it down with him. Instead of attacking, the ram pulled him backward and dragged the exhausted man safely onto the grass. The stunned man realized the ram had saved him and secretly decided he would never eat lamb again.